Hey guys, it's Jeb here, and in today's video, research shows that the US dollar has been used to launder money 800 times more than Bitcoin. And guys, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you may remember that in yesterday's video, we were calling for a breakout today, and as you can see, we have now had that breakout. Around 6 a.m. this morning, Bitcoin crashed $800 in the span of about 12 minutes. We're going to be doing some technical analysis on this a little bit later on in the video and trying to come to a conclusion about what this means for Bitcoin and where we're going now. Is Bitcoin going to $9,000, $8,000? Is Bitcoin going to go down to $7,500 and cover that gap in the CME charts? We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video. So if you guys do enjoy today's video, make sure you smash that like button. It does help out the channel and helps these videos get ranked in the algorithm so we can keep spreading the gospel of Bitcoin. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in the link in the description down below. Here in CT2A, we discuss everything you need to know about learning how to trade these markets when the markets are going up, when the markets are going down. If you want to learn how to work in these markets, be profitable in these markets, and be safe in these markets, a great place to do so is with CT2A. There's a $40 off coupon code in the description down below. Anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into the technical analysis portion of today's video, and then we'll get on to that news. I have some things that I want to bring up, and then we'll get on to that news. So, guys, the first thing that I want to discuss is what Bitcoin has been doing here over the last couple of weeks. Of course, Bitcoin has been in this downtrend here. If you haven't been living under a rock, you may have also noticed that Bitcoin was sitting here in this consolidation pattern. And by the way, that was a joke, because I know some of you are going to get mad at me for making fun of you. I'm not getting mad at you. I'm just saying, you know, Bitcoin is here in a consolidation pattern. And as we've seen here, Bitcoin did go ahead and break bullish out of this. We're here on the hourly chart. We broke bullish at about 2000 hours last night. Bitcoin did originally break bullish, but then as you can see, guys, we saw this trend where Bitcoin broke bullish and immediately started trending downwards. This is always a bad sign because immediately after a breakout, it's very possible for Bitcoin to just BART over because that breakout was not what was supposed to happen. If you recall to yesterday's video, in this video, go back and watch this if you haven't because we basically called this. In that video, I talk about how sometimes when you get very close in here to the end of consolidation patterns, what you'll see is that the market will just kind of break a random direction because a whale comes in and buys something. If we come down to like the minute chart, we're going to see that this breakout happened relatively quickly over here. It's very possible that someone just came in on the wee hours of the night when the majority of the United States and Europe were asleep, bought up a bunch of Bitcoin, caused a little bit of exuberance here on the minute chart. People saw this happening. RSI was flying. We probably saw a giant spike in volume. Yeah, we did. And then it started to rally and we broke through. But the fundamentals and the technicals were not in favor of short-term bullishness, so Bitcoin actually started trading downwards after we saw that breakout, trending to the downside. And then a few hours later, at about 6 a.m. this morning, Bitcoin fell through the floor. That's why you have to be careful with these consolidation patterns. I've talked about how much money you can make with them, and they are very profitable, but you have to be careful because when there's a lot of money to be made somewhere, oftentimes on the flip side, there's also a lot of money to be lost. If you had bought this and traded this, you may have been expecting that, oh, good, now we've had a bullish breakout, we're going to have a rally, and we're going to keep going up, so I'll set a long, maybe a 50x long or something on Bitcoin after Bitcoin breaks bullish here, and I'll just be good. You have to be careful about that. What I like to do on these consolidation patterns is set my buy order right above the breakout. So after we've confirmed the breakout, I buy in. Then what I do is I'll have a stop loss right below that buy order. And then very quickly, if I'm using high leverage especially, I'll take profits pretty soon and not take all of the profits, but maybe like 30-40% of them and then let the rest ride. And if you're on an exchange that allows you to use a trailing stop loss, you can also use one of those to protect yourself. And by the way, guys, the same thing is true in the inverse. If you're doing this with shorting, you can very easily have a short position right down here. You have your close right here, and then you take profits very soon after, and then you hold some of it for the longer term, especially if you're using leverage. That might be a very profitable trade for you, but nevertheless, you do have to be careful because as you will see, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will do this. I want to give you guys another example of this. So here's one. We're over on the Ethereum over US dollar chart. These are 4-hourly candlesticks, and as you can see here, back in September of 2018, I remember this, and I've kept this up on my chart ever since then because I like using this as a reference whenever this happens on Bitcoin. The Ethereum chart was in a consolidation pattern right here, and Ethereum got very close to the end, and it just decided, okay, we're going to break bullish, even though that's not really what was most healthy and required for the Ethereum chart. So we broke bullish, traded sideways, and we fell through the floor. The same thing happened on Bitcoin recently. That's why you do have to be careful. But with all that said, what does this actually mean for Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin going to start heading even lower? Is the rally postponed? Guys, I'd say yes, the rally is postponed. Bitcoin has been in this consolidation pattern for about a week now, and we've seen that it has broken bearish. I've been talking to you guys about how we're probably going to need a little bit more bearish price action before we see that rally resume. We haven't seen confirmation that that rally is coming back yet. The only thing we really saw there for a little while was that the MACD was converging bullish on itself. That's the only real short-term bullish price indicator that we saw. We didn't really see a whole lot of good news. We saw a little bit of CMF divergence. It wasn't anything major. Bitcoin is pretty bearish still. So what I think this means for Bitcoin is that there's more to come. I think that Bitcoin is going to come down here and it's going to test this downtrend of support, as I've been saying for the last 2 weeks. I think that's what it's going to do. It's going to come down here to $9,000, and if we break $9,000, it'll come down to this downtrend of support right down here. Somewhere around there, Bitcoin should find support, and then we will have the opportunity to set in motion some kind of reversal. Maybe we see RSI divergence, maybe we see the MACD start picking up, maybe we see some kind of bottoming candlestick on the daily chart. Whatever it is, Bitcoin will probably try to set some kind of reversal there. Whether or not it succeeds is yet to be seen. There is a possibility Bitcoin falls even farther. I'll show you that gap here in a second and why Bitcoin may actually fall even further than that. But down here somewhere, it's going to try to stage a reversal. Whether or not it's successful, we'll get to that. It's hard to tell this far out. And another reason why I'm saying that Bitcoin may go down there, guys, is because Bitcoin has its 100 daily simple moving average right up here. If we look back in history on Bitcoin, that was a moving average that Bitcoin typically corrected to. We saw it happen right down here in July of 2017. We saw it happen over here in September of 2017. We saw it happen over here in January of 2017 and March of 2017. That happens quite frequently, especially during bull markets, so it wouldn't surprise me if Bitcoin had to do that before we could see the proper bottom. It would make a whole lot of sense for Bitcoin to have to come down here between about $8,600 and $9,000 and set a bottom in. If you want my price targets, that's where it is. I'll go ahead and draw a box for you. Somewhere right in here in this box is where Bitcoin is going to attempt to get support, but I do have a feeling we're going to go that low. And by the way, check out what's happening on the minute chart. I can see it over on the right. In the last 2 minutes, Bitcoin is crashing. Bitcoin's currently trading around $9,300, and it's off to the races because we're falling below even that. Like I said, guys, Bitcoin is rather bearish right now, and you can't go betting on a horse that has a losing streak. Bitcoin is not in a bullish state right now. We've been bearish for so long. We are officially in a downtrend and have been for a while, that for us to call bullishness, we need to have confirmation of that. We have not had confirmation of it. This doesn't seem like it's really developing into a whole lot, but it is just another nail in the coffin for Bitcoin right now. Now, since I've used language like that, I want to be very clear and make sure you guys realize this is not the end of the world for Bitcoin. It just means that we're going to have some more bearishness. I probably see about another week or two of bearishness on Bitcoin, and then we're going to attempt to have some kind of corrective rally. We're going to try to attempt to restart the bullish rally, and we're going to see what happens from there. This is not the end of the world. I'm not saying that the bear market is starting again or that the bull market is over. I'm just saying that we need to be careful and protect ourselves. One last thing I want to show you guys is the gaps on the futures chart, because there is, as you can see, a gap down here in between about $8,400 to about $9,000. It would make a lot of sense for Bitcoin to come down here to $8,400 and fill that gap. Now, I've said in previous videos, and I stand by this, that gaps don't always need to be filled in the cryptocurrency markets because not everybody is doing technical analysis on charts that have gaps like they do in the stock market. They don't mean as much in cryptocurrency markets because of why they mean so much in stock markets. They just simply don't. That being said, even with that in mind, Bitcoin normally does fill these gaps here on the CME futures chart. It almost always happens. So it wouldn't be surprising if we did come down to $8,400. That would put us close to that 100 daily simple moving average. It'll be similar here. That 100 daily simple moving average is actually somewhere around right here on the actual chart. Point being, it would make a lot of sense if Bitcoin did that. And by the way, guys, like I said, none of this is unhealthy for Bitcoin. Bitcoin typically has 40% retracements. That is the way this works. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly healthy. Just gives us more time to load up on our Bitcoin. So I don't want you guys fudding. I don't want you guys leaving cryptocurrency. I don't want you guys getting scared, but I do want you guys to be careful, and I do want you guys to look for trades because I think there are going to be some good buying opportunities, some good longing opportunities here in the next few weeks. I'm going to try to find a high leverage, large trade for Bitcoin somewhere down here and ride it on through the next rally, and I'll try to show you guys that if I do find a entry that I like on that, and I don't miss it because I'm a very busy person. A lot of times I miss trades that I want to make. I will keep you guys up to date on that. Anyway, I think that's everything we needed to discuss here on the Bitcoin chart, so let's go ahead and move on over to the news. Only one piece of news today, not a whole lot's going on today. Research shows that the US dollar has been used to launder money 800 times more than Bitcoin. That right there is a headline. That is really not surprising. Let's dive into exactly why. The cryptocurrency industry has faced a lot of resistance, pun intended, mainly from governments of the globe for several reasons. One of the main reasons given is that cryptocurrencies can be used for money laundering, and lawmakers have proposed a complete ban several times. Some data, however, reveals information that is contrary to this belief. Essentially, what people say, guys, is a lot of US regulators, a lot of people that don't like Bitcoin, generally, if you don't like Bitcoin, one of the things you go to is you say, oh, well, Bitcoin can be used to money launder. Oh, Bitcoin can be used for buying drugs on the dark web. Oh, Bitcoin can be used for X, Y, and Z. When in fact, if you were to try and money launder with Bitcoin, you're probably one of the dumbest criminals that has ever existed in the history of the world, because all you gotta do is come to a website called blockchain.com, and then you can type in someone's address and you can see every single transaction that that address IRS has ever done. Literally every single transaction that has ever occurred in the history of Bitcoin, every single one going on right now is popping up in front of you. Every single transaction that has ever been completed on the Bitcoin blockchain, of which, yes, there are many, has been recorded, and you can go back and find them. That is literally antithetical to the entire point of money laundering. If you were going to try to money launder with Bitcoin, you deserve to get caught, because, my friend, that was stupid. So with that put to rest, let's continue here, because the US dollar is actually laundered quite a bit more. The US dollar can be tracked as well, but it is used to launder money quite a bit more. The US dollar is used to money launder about 800 times more than Bitcoin, as it shows here by some research by Masari. If you want to go check this out, you can. As they say down here in this article, this data could be invalidating the claims that Bitcoin is mainly used for criminal activities. As a matter of fact, transactions using Bitcoin are more traceable than any fiat currency in existence, and so can be much more easily traced than transactions in US dollars. Guys, there's a reason for that. Bitcoin is basically one gigantic, complicated mathematical equation that we're always putting inputs into and taking outputs from. That's pretty much all it is, and we can track literally every single thing that happens on that transaction and with that mathematical equation on a website like blockchain.com. It's very simple. If the government can't figure that out, then maybe the government is as incompetent as we think it is. US dollars, on the other hand, it's understandable why you wouldn't be able to figure out what's going on with them, because all you can figure out, all the IRS can do is say, hey, where'd you get that $1 million from? They can't actually figure out where it came from. They just have to ask the question because $1 million showed up out of nowhere. It's much easier to money launder with the US dollar than it is with Bitcoin. And it's a dumb argument anyway, because when you get right down to brass tacks, the US dollar and cryptocurrency are both currencies. They're both going to be used to money launder to some degree. That's just the way this is going to work. If Bitcoin is going to be a global currency, there are going to be downsides. There are going to be drawbacks. People are going to pay for illicit activities with a currency. That's literally what a currency is for paying for things. Do you seriously believe that we could ever stop Bitcoin from being used to buy anything illicit? No. That's not the way this works. That's not the way the world works. That's not the way anything is ever going to work. There's no cryptocurrency, no currency, no technology that's ever going to stop that. That's a cultural thing, if anything, not even so much a legal one. That's always going to be the way the world works, and the US dollar and cryptocurrency in general are not going to stop that. Bitcoin, however, is much better at it than the US dollar is, that being preventing money laundering. That's one of the main reasons why Bitcoin's blockchain is a public ledger, so that everybody can track every single transaction that's ever happened in the history of Bitcoin. Whether or not you like that, that is the way it is. If you prefer privacy coins, then go use them. Point being, one of the reasons why Bitcoin was made a public ledger is so that it'd be much easier to regulate, and it would be a much more seamless transition from just this kind of novel thing that Satoshi Nakamoto created to a global currency that regulators could actually work with, and there wouldn't be as much friction when it did become what it was destined to become. So guys, if anyone ever tells you that Bitcoin is used for money laundering, simply direct them to blockchain.com, and you can tell them that literally every single transaction in the history of Bitcoin can be tracked, and they will, if they know what they're talking about, pretty quickly realize the flaws of their ways, and that just simply doesn't make any sense. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, I highly encourage you to support the channel while also supporting your education by checking out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with the link in the description down below. If you guys want to learn anything from the very basics of technical analysis, like the basic stuff up here, to the much more advanced concepts like risk and reward, a game of statistics and probabilities, market structure, gut feeling, bull and bear markets, all these things, some of which you are not going to see talked about anywhere on YouTube. You're not going to see them talked about on Investopedia. You're not going to see it talked about anywhere. The only place you're going to learn this stuff is either here or in like a $5,000 course, or if you go and do it yourself. And guys, here's the deal. If you want to go and learn this stuff on your own and spend thousands of hours, thousands of dollars to do so, you go right ahead and do so. It took me 2 years to learn this stuff of working in these markets every single day. There's 700 nearly videos on this channel, and in those videos and in my own technical analysis and trading, that's where I learned this stuff. If you guys want to go spend the next 2 years in the majority of this bull market learning this stuff on your own, do so. I encourage you to do that if that's what you want to do. But at the same time, if you want to make the most out of this bull market and learn this stuff in a very quick, concise manner, I would highly encourage you to join the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. We've had over 700 people go through the course, and they always tell me how much they're enjoying the content, how much more profitable it's made them, how much easier it has made their life in trading, how much more money they're making now that they know what they're doing. Guys, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is all about investing. That's the entire point. We're trying to put money in to get more money out. The Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with the $40 off coupon down below is $159. The lessons in this course can drastically improve how much money you're going to make in these markets. So if you want to learn how to make money in these markets, in my opinion, I would be saying this to you even if I didn't have a course. Before I ever had a course, I was saying this about other people's courses. Investing in your education is one of the greatest things that you can do. So if you guys are interested in learning how to trade these markets and learning the much more advanced concepts like how to plan and execute profitable trades, do you know how to set up a trade? Do you know how to actually have a proper stop loss? Do you know where to put your sell orders? Do you know how much to sell at each one of those sell orders? Do you know how to actually plan and execute profitable trades? If you don't, that's what this video is for. Do you know that that kind of feeling in your gut when it's telling you something's going to happen, but you're not sure if you're right or not? That's what gut feeling is about. That is never talked about. It's very important for technical analysis, though. Short and long-term technical analysis, the convergence of support of short and long-term trends, those are things I don't really see talked about a whole lot either. That's basically when you have a long-term trend and a short-term trend, which one is right? Do you check the short-term trend or do you check the long-term trend? Which one do you trade by? This is the kind of stuff you need to know. So guys, check the link in the description down below. You can use the coupon code for $40 off. If you guys did enjoy today's video, I highly encourage you to go ahead and drop a like. It does help out the channel, and it does help out this video to get ranked in the algorithm, like I said, so that we can continue spreading the gospel of Bitcoin far and wide across the interwebs. So guys, go ahead and drop a like if you did enjoy the video. Also, if you're new here and you do enjoy this content, I would highly advise you to hit that subscribe button and make it turn from red to gray, and then you can also hit that notification bell so you'll be updated every single time a new video goes live. I do hope you guys did enjoy today's video. I want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.